Good morning, everybody. I would like to welcome you to our press conference with EPP Group Chairman Manfred Weber. We will go straight into the matter.
Good morning, and thank you for your interest. We have today the 7th of October. That means it's the second anniversary of the attacks of Hamas against innocent Israeli people. Now it's a moment to remember and also see what the violence brings to the whole region. I just want to mention that we have now the talks in Egypt. Want to express also from an EPP Group point of view that the violence must come to an end, and too many people have already died. That's why we hope for the best, that at least violence will be stopped. And generally speaking, it's clear that we stick to the two-state solution in the region. We need a perspective for Israel, for a peaceful development, and also for the Palestinian people. Well, in the European Parliament, we are experienced, and I said it last time in Strasbourg when I had the chance to speak to you. Now, autumn is a moment of truth, and politics is back in a way in this House. Yesterday we had a big show. It was far right and far left. Nothing offering to the citizens, but only have a no to say. And I have to say this theatre must come to an end. The EPP will vote on Thursday against both motions. We are clearly on the side of our Commission President and our Commission as a whole. And we have to really work now on the legislative file. We have to deliver now. We argue, we exchange positions, we are finding compromises here. It's about politics, the normal procedure of politics. That must be in the centre of the European Parliament for autumn. And I give you a few examples. The first example is Omnibus. So my group was mainly focusing on competitiveness, and there cutting red tape is a key element for us. The negotiations are ongoing. We have this week the vote on the Agri and also on the Defence Omnibus on the table in the European Parliament. And it's good to see that there is a growing understanding that this cutting of red tape, making it easier for our enterprises, for our companies, for our farmers, is now arriving in reality. The European Parliament must deliver. And the second example I want to share with you is climate change. Yesterday in the ENVI committee, colleagues voted for an ambitious approach on climate change target 2035. So this is an international obligation which is in front of us. China and Brazil were on the international level when they met on the United Nations format, not as ambitious as we would love to see them. It was quite disappointing to see their promises for 2035 on international level. And that's why, having this in mind, it's now a historic moment for Europe to show up and deliver an ambitious target for 2035. And this was agreed yesterday in the ENVI committee based on the platform agreement. So we are coming now, as I always said it, once we arrive on the legislative work, then we will see that things come together and we find solutions. And I also want to welcome the developments on the Council side when it is about the building up of a European pillar of defence. In Copenhagen last week, we had the agreement to build up a drones wall on the east flank of the European Union, also combined with an investment in the south, but obviously the main threat comes from the east. That is very, very positive. There we are developing things. That was a long-standing request from my group, also from me personally. I would go further. Drones is one element, but now we need also a cyber defence brigade, because cyber threat is not only a question for the east of Europe, that's everyone is affected on this. And we also need a sky surveillance system, that we are getting independent in the data for our military services. So there are further aspects in front of us to build up this European pillar of defence. We also will work in the EPP family together with the Council members on further developments there, preparing it for the European Council in 2 weeks' time in Brussels. And I also can report to you that we are in the final phase of EDIP, this regulation inside of the European Union, where we have a clear priority also from an EPP point of view in having common procurements, making it then possible, and also with the main message of buy European. So if we spend European taxpayers' money, we have to also buy European technologies and European products. So just to share with you a few of these examples where we are doing politics now, where we are coming back and delivering, and that must be in the centre for the European Parliament. I just want to mention one additional point because it's in the air. We are also asked about this, and that is about the National Reform Programme, so the MFF, and one pillar is the National Reform Programme, where there are critical discussions ongoing in my group, but also in other groups, and we are discussing these issues. In general, I welcome the MFF because on conditionality, on horizon, on the competition, competitiveness fund, competitiveness fund, we are really having EPP policies delivered, so the general background is good. But one out of the 17 files is to be discussed. That is mainly about farmers and cohesion policy, and there we have to still discuss it with the Commission how to proceed. But again, that's normal politics, that we are dealing with these issues and discussing content. And if you allow me, I want to also welcome then the developments on the Commission side, because today the Commission will announce an overcapacity of steel industry package, which is lowering quotas for the Chinese to import steel to the European market, and also higher tariffs on steel sold on dumping prices. I think that's highly welcomed and urgently needed. I see these actions now also combined with our US, with our American friends, and also with the Canadian friends. So steel, this is a problem also in our relationship with America at this moment of time, is not a problem between us and US, it's a problem of China. And that's why we tackled this together. We give a proper answer together. Just to share with you, 300,000 jobs are directly in the steel industry, 2 million jobs are indirectly connected. That means we are securing jobs with these developments. And finally, one aspect when we speak about competitiveness and jobs is also on the car industry. You know that we are dealing with this for a long period of time. There are further car summits where we discuss with the car industry what to do. I just want to underline one point, because I learned that in Germany they are dealing and struggling in this moment of time to find a common understanding. I just want to request that hopefully the German government is capable to deliver there a clear positioning, because the biggest car manufacturing country in Europe must have a clear position on combustion engine. That's my request. From my point of view, from our point of view, things are clear. We need technological neutrality, but I hope that this can also be managed on the national capital level. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We have time for a couple of questions. Maybe let's start here.
Jakub Říha, CNN Prima News from Czech Republic. As you're aware, Andrej Babiš won the parliamentary election quite decisively with 35%. I'm interested into how you personally feel about that, and how do you think that it will change the dynamics within EU, specifically in terms of approach towards Ukraine, the support of Ukraine, but feel free to comment on other areas where you think that it will be different.
Bonjour, je vais poser ma question en français. Emmanuel Beretta, Le Point. Vous avez évoqué la discussion sur l'architecture du budget. Est-ce que votre groupe serait prêt, si la Commission devait s'entêter à garder, à fondre les fonds de cohésion et l'agriculture en une seule enveloppe, est-ce que vous serez prêt à rejeter un budget ?
Well, it's exactly about that, but perhaps I would be even more specific. Are you ready? Is it on the table to ask the Commission to withdraw just the national plans, or can you just amend it? And have they reached out, of course, and offered something for EPP to fall in line? Thank you.
One last question in the back row.
Yeah, good morning, Tommaso Gallavotti in Kronos, Italy. It's just a question about Ilaria Salis. I know that the position of the EPP is against, is against the lifting of the immunity. I wonder if you think that some of yours are going to save her, or do you think that the rescue will come from other parts, maybe from the ECR? Many thanks.
We start with the last point about the immunity case of Salis. So, we are, as EPP Group, one of my 3 criteria for defining the principles of EPP was pro-rule of law. And we see pro-rule of law that it means also to respect our internal rules inside of the European Parliament. And that's why the whole debate is not at all any kind of political subject for me as a political leader. What I do and what we do as group is simply listen to our legal experts and following the advice of our experts. And the advice is to lift the immunity of Salis. The reason is because the crime was committed before she became Member of Parliament, and the rules are crystal clear. So you're only protected when you are elected as Member of Parliament. The rules are crystal clear. That's why I would really ask us not to politicize any kind of these issues of lifting immunities. And that's why, again, we will follow simply the advice of our experts there. On the national reform programme, the background is that we are a mayor's party, so we have the overwhelming part of our mayors and regional leaders in EPP family, and we are also farmers' party. And in both aspects, we are not yet fully satisfied with the national reform programme, where we concentrate decisions on EU budget than in the capitals, in the member states' capitals. Probably in smaller countries it's not so much a problem, but in the middle-sized and bigger countries of Europe it is a challenge. In my country, for example, the minister president, the regional prime ministers want to have a say about how do we invest the money, what are we doing with the rural areas money, with the agriculture money, and so on and so forth. And the second consideration for the farmers is that there is a debate about a common agriculture policy, also expressed by the agriculture ministers. You learned about this when there was a council meeting. Also a lot of questions. Can we guarantee still a common market if we allow member states to define their own rules for agriculture? Is there still a joint common market? There are the points on the table. And again, we are discussing this extremely constructively with colleagues. We are in regular exchange of views with our EPP commissioners, Christoph Hansen, Piotr Serafin, also with Raffaele Fitto as cohesion commissioner linked to this issue. So there is a constructive discussion ongoing, and there will be this week no decision about what to do, so about how to react on this. This week is the week of discussing the issues among friends. And on the Czech Republic, we fully respect and respect the outcome of the Czech elections. It's good to see that the participation was high. There was a high turnout. A lot of people showed up. That's good in a lively democracy. That also led to the situation that Fiala and the team of Spolo, together with Stan, we won votes. It was not enough, so the numbers of votes increased even there. But overall, Babiš then finally won. Again, that's respected, and we have to work with him now. The next steps are now to form a government, and it will be interesting to see which government he will create. I just want to underline one aspect. If we are talking about my three pros, pro-Europe, pro-Ukraine, pro-rule of law, which is for our family fundamental, I really admire and respect very much the fight and the argumentation of my team, of KDU-CSL, of Top 09 and of Stan, because they were clear positioned on where the place of Czech Republic should be. It was not enough, but they were clear. And if Babiš is also now arguing, as I learned it in one of the press conferences he gave, that he don't need lesson, he is a pro-European, that is what, in a way what he said, then I can only ask him, give us a proof of this. Until now you say against to Ukraine. Until now he's against a common migration policy. Until now he's against a climate policy. So please give us a proof that you really believe in common European solutions. That is, I think, the next step in front of us.
We have time for a couple of more questions. Yes, here and there, please.
Yes, thank you. It's Paul Schubert from ZDF. I have a question on the possible ban of meat terms for vegetarian products. It's a proposal from the EPP, and I'm wondering, could you explain me what would be beneficial or what could be beneficial for the consumers if this admission will pass?
Good morning. I'm Florentin Collomb from Le Figaro, from France. If I can draw you to national politics as well, what are your concerns As a European, on the political situation and economic situation in France, what could be the worries and the consequences for Europe?
Then on the first point on the products naming, it's on content a copy-and-paste approach about what we have already on the dairy products. So there is already a regulation there. I personally have to say we will discuss it this evening in the EPP group, how to position the group on this. I personally have to say that for me that's not at all a priority, because I think we have really other things to do. And that's why in this moment of time, seeing what is happening, people are not stupid, consumers are not stupid when they go to the supermarket and buy their products. So we have to discuss it, but from a personal note, that's for me not at all a priority. We have really much more important things to be dealt with. And for the French situation, it confirms the approach of the Republicans in the management of trying to find compromises. I remember what Michel Barnier tried to do when he was Prime Minister, when he stood in front of French citizens and explained the situation. That's a style of politics we are offering, a serious one, as one of solving problems, and that is urgently needed in France at this moment of time. So I fully support our friends there to continue their way.
The chairman has to leave to another meeting, which will start in a couple of minutes. That's why we have to stop a little bit earlier than usual. I would like to thank you for your questions, and please don't hesitate to contact us if you have more. Thank you very much.